Greetings. Today I want to share with you some principles or laws that are immutable and they are universal. However, you might say, well, I know about these laws before or these principles. But the most important thing is that you have to be a doer and not just a hearer. So you have to master these laws in your life, your everyday life. And it takes practice, it takes discipline, it takes you being very honest with yourself and very much caring about what is taking place in your life to really observe and make sure that you're mastering these laws in your everyday life. And that is why if you have a Caribbean background, these laws or principles, they are sayings of the old. In terms of the older people has always been using these sayings and we take them for granted because they've been using them with many times different meaning towards what they're saying, okay? And the first principle of law, I should say, is the law of mentalism, or the principle of mentalism, which we refer to as common sense. Basically, since growing up, you'll hear the older people say that common sense was before book. And it really means that if you understand and master the law of mentalism, you would realize that everything was first a thought and everything was first imagined. Everything was first an idea. And that would definitely help you greatly to understand why I always teach that the Bible is a book of mind science and should be interpreted psychologically. Also, it helps you to realize that no book can be written and it wasn't first a thought or first an idea, first imagined. It will teach you also that everything is mental. Everything is psychological. So when old people say that common sense was before book, it means that true education is not you going to school and getting good grades and being prepared for the workplace or for the marketplace out here. But instead, it is you drawing out from within. And that is why in my book, Meditate to Eradicate Poverty, there's a chapter that is based on common sense, which is actually your God sense, your infinite intelligence that you're born in this world with. And as you grow and strive, more of that would reveal to you. But the school system has really shifted you away from it. And just to be a little bit more specific, these things are things like your will, your perception, your reasoning, your memory, your intuition, your imagination, your perception, all of these things. You're born with these things within you, these mental faculties. But they only keep you in the realm of memory where you just regurgitate things back over and over and over. And that will shape many people adult life if they do not break the program, okay? Because that's why so much people are dwelling on intellectualism, and many people are listening things on the internet or reading things in book and believe that they really know, and that's not true knowing. You must experience something for yourself to really know for real what it is really all about. That's how you know, okay? That's why it's very important for you to always be on the realm of coming to realize how much you do not know. That's true self-realization. So yes, that's the very first principle, and it's immutable. Okay, no one can change it. If you try to do something and think you can change any of the immutable laws, there's serious consequences that you would face trying to change those laws. Okay. Also, you have the law of rhythm. Okay. And you'll always hear the old people say, what goes around comes around, or what goes so, it must come back so. And when we look at the ocean, we're seeing the tide that comes in is the same tide that goes out. And we are actually existing in an ocean of motion. And this ocean of motion is what would really give us our harvest, because whatever we sow, that's what we would reap. That's why even the Bible tells you that my word will not return unto me void, but it must accomplish that which I send it to and prosper anything where to I send it. So whatever you give out, that is what gonna definitely come back to you. Okay, that's the law of rhythm. It's like a pendulum swing. What goes so, come back this way. Okay, and then there is the law of correspondence. As above, so below. As it is within, so is it without. And so many people fail to realize that what they're beholding on the outside is all a projection of that which is within. And so all the inventions in this world, they are actually thoughts that have been realized. You see, when you understand these things and you understand the law of correspondence, you will realize why I was inspired to write the book, which will be available in this month of December for you, called The Secret Vagina, The Secret Portal, the mystery of the virgin birth. Because you see, most people only see a birth from down below, okay, whereby a woman gave birth, but they do not realize of the portal that is above. They do not realize of the portal of the subjective world. So we have an objective world and a subjective world. So everything that's happening in the objective world, it is first happening in the subjective world. But we've been shipped away from the subjective world, which is actually the invisible world. And most people get trapped in the visible world. That is why they believe in the Jesus, Mary, and Mary story to be literal and secular history. And that's why I'm going to make sure get that book published for you for December, that you can give someone that book. You can buy it for them as a gift to teach them the real Christ mass, the real Christ behind the mass. Teach them that it's all about the Sun, the S-U-N. And the 25th is all about the Sun. And that Sun is within you. It's a light that is within you. And to give a physical birth, there must be the cosmic light that must come between the egg and the sperm fertilizing. So my brothers, my sisters, we are spirits having a human experience. That is why you need to understand, as above, so below, as it is within, so is it without. That will help you also to understand 11:11 and much more other things. Okay, but for now, I'm gonna just stay at that and move on to the next law, which is the law of vibration. Everything vibrates, nothing rests. And to be honest with you, my brothers and my sisters, everything that I'm saying here is based on what I would have experienced. Okay, when I awake from the sleep or the dream of life and had the virgin birth through my skull, everything that I'm saying here, I would have experienced those things, because it starts with a great vibration. And you realize every impregnation, it starts with a vibration. It was with a vibration that was taking place in my head, but I thought it was taking place all around. So nothing rests, everything vibrates. And so when you realize that everything vibrates, you realize that everything is energy, vibration, and frequency. Then you would realize that your thoughts, they are vibratory, and it is thought vibration that is going out to the field, and whatever go out to the field or the ether, that is what will return to you. And when you look at nature, you can see whatever seed you sow in the soil, that is what will come back to you. And it will also help you to understand the Genesis story, teaching you it is creation story. Okay, so it's very important for you to understand the law of vibration. Okay, whatever you vibrate out, you're gonna vibrate back to you. Okay, nothing rests, everything vibrates. Okay, so I think I would have given you about 5 or so. Okay. But there is also the law of cause and effect. Everything has its cause and everything has its effect. But most people focus on the effect because in the objective world, we are seeing the effect. But it is taking place, first of all, in the subjective world. In other words, it is taking place in the thought world. And then most people tie themselves to the effect and they forget that they are the cause of everything in their life. So my brother, my sisters, no one can change these laws. These are immutable laws. Whatever you do in this life, you're going to face the karma. You're going to face the judgment. You see, when you understand these laws, you will understand that these preachers and these people who teach secular Christianity and point you to look outwardly, you realize that they are the enemy. They are the enemy of your higher self. They are the ones who are coming together to crucify the Christ self. That is why you're told that the Christ was crucified between 2 thieves. And if you notice, these 2 thieves, they are just in jacket and tie. One is teaching you a good life while you are here if you participate in their politics. Okay, and you support them. They're going to teach, they're trying to convince you that they're going to provide for you when you're supposed to provide for yourself, and that they're going to take care of you when you're supposed to take care of yourself. You're supposed to care about yourself more than anyone else. Never allow anyone to care more about you than yourself. Okay? And then the other one is promising you a good life after you leave here if you believe his theology and believe his doctrine, and he get to control your mind. So there are 2 basically government that wants to control your mentality, because government is controlling your mental. So they don't want you to think for yourself. That is why the very first law that I mentioned is the law of mentalism. They want you to shift you from that. So if you shift from that first one, you would never even come to this one concerning cause and effect. You see, when you understand cause and effect, you never blame a devil. You never blame an entity outside of yourself for the circumstances that are taking place in your life. You would become more responsible for your thoughts and your actions, because you would realize, as a man thinketh in his heart and his subconscious mind, so is he. Also, there is the law of polarity, teaching you that everything has its polar opposite, that it has its opposite pole. For example, if you look at a coin, it's one coin, but it has a head and it has a tail. You cannot have night without you having day. And you cannot have the day without you having the night. And even the Bible teach you on all of these different laws. Okay, when you read, for example, Isaiah 45, verses 5 to 7, it says that I am God and there's no other. It says, I create the darkness and I create the light. I create good and I create evil. And then in Deuteronomy 32:39, he says the same thing. I am God and there is no other. He says, I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. So everything is complementing the other. So when you understand that, you never go to any extreme. And you'll not be judging people based on the lifestyle they choose. Because, for example, many people hate on people who are gay. But they are the ones to let you know that you're straight. You see, if you're an honest person, a thief is showing you that you're an honest person is just the polar opposite. So when you understand these things, no preacher could brainwash you with their so-called gospel that is pointing you to look outside of yourself and keep in idolatry. Believe in some power outside of yourself when you're supposed to be looking inwardly, because the kingdom of God is within you. So it's very good that you familiarize yourself with the law of polarity. And these laws is not just to give you knowledge, okay? Knowledge without application is no power at all. You have to see these things in your everyday life. Now, the next law is the law of gender, whereby everything is its masculine and feminine. Everything, has its male and its female. That is why when you read the Genesis story and you're reading about Adam and Eve, you're reading about the masculine and feminine principle, and you're reading that when they come together, you're going to get manifestation, and you can manifest either a destructive life or a creative and uplifting life. And that's what you're reading when you read about Cain and Abel, because the garden is your mind, where you're going to sow your seed, all your thoughts. Everything grows there, and everything going to bring forth its fruit from there. So my brother, my sister, it's very important for you to understand the mind and understand how the mind works, and to understand these immutable principles or immutable laws, which are universal laws that governs each and everyone. That is why you have to master them. Okay, I want to believe that I would have mentioned at least 7 of these laws. Okay, but there's an 8th law that I want to mention to you that many times people missed it, and it is basically the law of reproduction, that every seed and every species must and will always reproduce after its own kind. And that is shown to you in Genesis, in the Genesis story. You see, Genesis means genes is, showing you everything starts from a seed, and is teaching you the principle of creation, how everything came from the invisible to the visible. And in the thought world, things are first invisible. But when you act upon them, because you believe without seeing, and you're applying true faith by putting things into action and having the right knowledge and understanding of what faith is really about, and you trusting and remaining faithful to the unseen, then you will get your manifestation. So when you understand the law of reproduction, that every seed and every species all reproduce after its own kind, you'll understand the principle of creation. When you understand the principle of creation, then you will understand that the heart is the place that generates everything in your life. And that is why you have to connect the heart with the brain. There must be a coherence of the heart and the brain, because one is for information and the other is for transformation. The heart is for transformation, and the brain is for information, because the brain is a transmitter and a receiver of frequency. Okay, that's what the brain is for. But the one for transformation, which is the heart, that vibration is there even before there is a brain. That's the first sign of a pregnancy in a woman. And that's why you have to connect both brain. Let me call both of them a brain. Okay, so there's a brain above, there's a brain below. Let me put it that way so you will understand me. But most people do not think from the heart. Most people do not follow the gut feeling. Most people are not intuitive. Most people do not follow their intuition to lead them and guide them, because they do not know that their intuition is the inside teacher, that is the God life within, that wants to lead you and guide you so that there will be great change in your life. So, my brother, my sisters, remember how important it is for you to understand the generative principle concerning the law of reproduction. For every seed and every species reproduce after its own kind, and everything generates from the heart. There's the seat of your emotion, and emotion is energy in motion, and your mass of energy, and you vibrate on frequencies. So my brother, my sister, it's very important for you to understand these things if you're going to understand that you are programmed and brainwashed to believe in a God, a Savior, a Redeemer outside of yourself. So use these principles to lead you and to guide you in your everyday life. Some of these principles, you might be able to find them in the Kabbalion and the Tree Initiates and other books. Okay, you can find these universal laws, or you can even Google them and find them. But the most important thing is to master these laws in your everyday life. That's the most important thing. So I hope this information has been very much helpful to you, and that you've been well informed, and you're now willing and ready to take the responsibility for everything that's happening in your life and learn to live life on your own terms. So with that being said, my brother, my sister, I just want to thank you very much for listening to me. And I want to say to you, if this is the very first time that you listen to me and what I'm saying, if it makes sense to you and it really resonates with you and you haven't subscribed already, I'm definitely going to encourage you to subscribe, to like, to comment, to share this video. Also, if you like to follow me on Instagram and you like to follow me on TikTok or on rumble.com, you can follow me there at BlackMadGuru. Also, if you like to do a one-on-one with me, you're most welcome, as long as the terms and conditions fit you and you're willing for us to walk along. I want to assure you that we're going to have a great time together, and you can feel free to ask your questions and go deeper down the rabbit hole. So the choice is yours. Also, I want to mention that I have on my Patreon a course for people who donated $20 or more, and it's called The Inner Sun Science and Technology to Create Your Reality Consciously. And along with that, I have a bonus course on self-concept. So if you want to have the right concept of yourself and know how important it is to have the right concept of yourself, and how important it is for you to understand how you should be in alignment with the sun that is within to reflect the sun that is without, and the sun that is without, whatever it shines upon, as you can see, it brings forth bountifully. And the sun is what empowers all of humanity and give all of humanity its energy. So that generative principle of power is the power of the sun that is within you. Okay, so if you want to know more about that, I definitely encourage you to be at $20 or more. Okay, Patreon and my Patreon. Okay, so the choice is yours. Before I leave you, also, I just want to remind you that if you feel strongly led to support this work, that we have a PayPal and the link is always down below. So just follow your intuition. So with that being said, my brother, my sister, I just want to say peace, love you all, out.